Well, officials are looking into a case of invasive recording at Williams Adams Middle School in Alice. A parent alerted school administration that some students were allegedly filming others without that person's knowledge. A felony in the state of Texas. Our Madeline Dart tells us how the district is taking action.
Principal Holmgreen says due to the seriousness of the allegation, it was very important for them to immediately begin an investigation, as well as reminding students how to use a cell phone responsibly. Alice ISD releasing this letter after the report. Now students are not allowed to take cell phones to the restroom. Only one female and male may use their respective bathrooms during lunch, and phones will be collected before PE, then returned after.
People think safety, they think physical safety first, but we also are concerned with their emotional well-being, their psychological well-being, their physical well-being, and their, the overall well-being of the child.
Principal Holmgreen couldn't divulge much information on the report, but she said they are working diligently to investigate the claim. Principal Holmgreen also would like to remind parents to have an open conversation with their children about properly using a cell phone. Reporting from Alice, Madeline Dart, 3 News.